President of the New Development Bank, Dilma Rousseff, says that the participation and buy-in from the private sector is an important leg of the road to sustainable energy. She was speaking on the second day of the 9th annual general meeting of the bank in Cape Town. The bank, which came into existence in 2015, provides finance to BRICS member states, as well as other emerging markets for infrastructure development. Rousseff spoke at the start of a session which explored ways that member countries could share information on sustainable energy. So for more, our reporter Lulama Matya joins us now live from Cape Town. Lulama, good afternoon. Perhaps given what has transpired since this all began, perhaps you could speak to some of the highlights and the sentiments that have emerged from our Finance Minister Inoko Tonkwana, our Deputy President Paul Mashatile, just perhaps also on the back of the amounts that have been pledged, promised and afforded to. We know Transnet now having signed that 5 billion rand with the New Development Bank to modernize freight, rail, logistics sector overall as large. Perhaps you could explain a little bit further on what's transpired.
Thank you very much and welcome to the Cape Town International Convention Center. Yes, on that yesterday, the big story that came out of the New Development Bank annual meeting yesterday was that 5 billion rand loan that has been given to Transnet to improve rail infrastructure. Well, various stakeholders, interested parties on rail, on Transnet and ports welcomed that loan, but not everyone is satisfied or happy with that loan. I am joined by Liso Mdutyana. He's from civil society. You have concerns about the loan. Tell us, what are your concerns?
Thank you very much, ma'am, first of all, for the platform. Obviously, we cannot speak for all of civil society, but I would say some of the concerns that have been coming from sections of civil society is that the lending practices of these banks. So when these banks give us money, who has been consulted in the country? Because ultimately it is the citizens of the country that have to bear the burden in the case where Transnet is not able to repay back the loan, because the loan is guaranteed by the state. So if Transnet at some point is not able to repay back the loan, some money will have to be taken away from education, health and social security in order to repay back this loan. So we want these banks to be more transparent about their lending, about the terms of their lending. And it cannot happen that for the majority of the country, the first time they hear of this loan is when it is announced on stage and it is signed by officials. It has to go through a public process before it is taken on by the state.
Who would you like to see playing that oversight role during that process of the processing of the loan?
Absolutely. We would like to see, in particular, Parliament, because they are the one, constitutionally charged to play oversight over what the government is doing. So I think South Africa would benefit greatly from having a process that happens in other countries, where before a loan is taken on by the state or before it is guaranteed by the state, there is public consultation, so members of the public are able to get a platform, get a chance to voice their concerns, and then also parliamentarians are able to really scrutinize and evaluate whether would it not have been possible to get this same loan on better terms, for example. We don't even know the terms of the loans, so we would like Parliament definitely to play a greater oversight role over lending, and the lending process must not happen in the dark, essentially, when it is the public that either benefits or suffers because of the loan.
You also have concerns around Eskom, that there's the indications that the loan to Eskom now is no longer happening. A while back, it had been suggested that the NDB would be lending to Eskom, to advance Eskom's objective to mitigate against the effects of pollution in the Medupi plant. And the community had been expecting this for a while, that it happens, because many people there are
suffering because of the air pollution, and many of the citizens of the country are benefiting, but the actual community where the plant is suffering. But now it appears that this loan has been cancelled or has been held back. We do not know the details of it as far as, is publicly available. We have checked the website, but there are no indications why this loan is not coming through. And there are no indications that if this loan is not coming through, Eskom will have other means to finance this project that is designed to mitigate against the effects of air pollution. And this is especially concerning when you think about the theme of this year, which is investing in a sustainable future. How can you say you are doing that and then there is damage happening to the environment, and yet you are not investing to protect the people that suffer from that damage? I think those are the concerns of some sections of civil society. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Lisom Tutyana. I am also joined by Musa Letsi. She's also a member of civil society for the NDB. Ma'am, your concerns are around the Lutu Highlands water project, that the project is being co-funded by the New Development Bank, yet Lesotho is not a member state for the NDB. Take us through that.
Thank you very much. Yes, Lesotho is not a member state of the NDB, and yet we have a project, the Lutu Highlands Water Development Project, being implemented in Lesotho. Yet Lesotho is not a member of the NDB. That's what makes the project kind of unique. So what I wanted to gather from this meeting was whether there are any grievance mechanisms put in place by the NDB which can be accessible for consumption by the Basotho who are being currently affected by the LHWP project. With this large development project, they don't only guarantee or change the development or economic landscape of the country within which they are being implemented, but they also carry insurmountable hardships and carry human rights violations to the host community members upon which they are being implemented as a result of different factors, be it displacement, physical or otherwise. So I wanted to gather from the meeting whether there are any grievance mechanisms that can be accessible to community members that are being affected by this project, where domestic mechanisms are not forthcoming in terms of providing solutions to their respective grievances. So that's basically what I had hoped to gather from this meeting.
So you didn't get that kind of information or assistance?
Well, I did get the kind of information and assistance, and I believe I'd want to commend the bank representative who showed quite enthusiasm or interest in engaging as members of the CSOs to constantly interact and share information, give them feedback of what's happening on the ground in order to shape whatever models they want to design in addressing various grievances. I also learned that, yes, there is a mechanism that has been put in place to address different grievances, and it's accessible even to community members who are being affected by the LHWP, even though the project is being implemented in Lesotho, and yet Lesotho is not a member state to the NDB.
So I guess the next step is to inform Basotho people how they can lodge their complaints.
Yes, definitely. That is what my organization, Inudi Legal Center, will work on, because we're currently in the process of community consultations where we want to take up community complaints with the AFDB, because it's one of the co-financiers of the project. So we'll do the same thing now that we are aware that the NDB has such a mechanism.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That was Musa Letsi. Both the lady and the gentleman are from civil society. They are here attending the sessions of the NDB, looking for issues that are affecting civil society, which they say they need to be placed in the open space for communities to access those kind of information